If every single time you decide to go on a bulk, you start increasing the calories, but you always get scared of putting on way too much fat, of ballooning up way out of proportion, this video is going to show you exactly how to execute a proper design lean bulk. My name is Matteo. I've gained 17 plus kgs of muscle naturally, and I also specialize in helping skinny guys transform. Now, the typical person will tend to increase their calories. They'll go on a bulk. There's two sides of the spectrum. There's one person that'll balloon way out of proportion, that'll increase his calories, go to 3,500, 4,000 calories in hopes of gaining more muscle. That is a recipe for disaster. That is literally a recipe to getting skinny fat, accumulating way too much body fat percentage, and then having to cut down. You see this stereotypical idea of the bulk online, which is eating way too many calories, going way overboard. That is not what we're trying to do. On the other hand, we have guys that are scared of increasing the calories by fear of gaining too much fat. I can say this with full conviction because I was there too. I was scared of gaining fat on a lean bulk. This led me to take one step forward, one step back, every couple months doing mini bulks, mini cuts, always ending up in the same place. The reason for that is throughout my entire childhood, I used to play football at a good level, and I always saw myself as lean. And a couple years later, when I decided to commit to a proper bulk, I had that identity in the back of my mind, like I had to stay lean. So whenever I gained a tiny bit of fat, I would get uncomfortable and I would directly come back to being in a mini cut. So one step forward, one step back. That was my life for 2.5 years back in 2021. And that literally kept me stuck. I would bulk, I would cut, and I would always end up being at the same spot. My lifts would stay the exact same. And to be honest, like it sucked. I felt like I was putting the effort, but I wasn't seeing the results I wanted. The way I was able to gain 17 plus kgs of muscle is by committing to a properly structured lean bulk. Here's exactly how to execute a perfect lean bulk. Step number one is determining exactly where you're at. Let's say you're at 60 kgs and the goal is to get to 70 kgs. Perfect, we know that. The second step is reverse engineering. How are we going to be getting there? As we know, we have to be in a consistent calorie surplus to slowly but surely pack on size. If you're at maintenance calories, you're not going to be building enough mass over time. So we have to be putting you in a consistent calorie surplus. The best way I've found to do this is setting a fixed weekly and monthly target. So we're not ballooning up. For me, when I did my lean bulk, I was looking at 200 to 250 grams per week on average. I'm not accelerating and then I can't break. I'm going there very gradually and I can adjust along the way. But you want to be having a fixed target every single week. I recommend starting with 200 grams per week, depending on where you're starting from, but that's generally a good base. Now, every single morning, you're weighing yourself, you're stepping on the scale. After having peed, you go on a scale and you track your daily weight. Super simple to do. We're removing emotion. It's pure data here. A proper lean bulk is not about emotion. It's about following data and iterating as you go. That means every 7 days, you're gonna have your weekly average. With your weekly average weight, you can always see if you're on track towards that goal we determined before. Start with 200 grams, and then if you're not gaining that much fat, then you can increase to 250, maybe even beyond, like 300 grams on the upper echelon. Now, what you wanna do in terms of your calories, you wanna multiply your body weight in pounds times 18. That'll give you a good base on where to start in terms of your calories. So you're eating that amount every single day. If your weight is not increasing, just bump that up by 300 calories. Rinse and repeat. So based on your average weight, you can slowly increase or decrease your calorie intake to make sure you're always matching that average goal we're setting. Now, to hit those daily calories, depending on your appetite, you want to have some structure. Most guys that can't get the scale to move are skipping meals, random foods, random calorie distribution, no structure whatsoever. So that's going to be your task. Having a bit of structure, maybe having 3 meals, 1 snack, and a consistent high calorie breakfast. So you're breaking down your daily calorie goal into those meals. And most skinny guys completely overlook this. They blame their metabolism, they blame every single circumstance they have, but they don't look at their daily habits. All my clients were in this position before. Like they were struggling to pack on the size just by tweaking their nutrition, having some structure, having their daily calorie goals as well, looking at their foods, they are able to consistently grow. You don't have a magic gene, you just have the wrong system. If you want to see the exact system we run to build 5 to 10 kgs of muscle, there's a free training down below. At this point, you know how many calories to hit. You're adjusting your calorie intake based on if your weight is slowly but surely going up according to the average goal we set at first, 200 to 250 grams at first. You actually organize yourself to hit those calories on a daily with some structure, 3 meals, 1 snack, a very high 800 to 1000 calorie breakfast, keeping things super simple, and maybe a fixed snack. That is it so far. That is the nutrition side. But if you only stick to the nutrition, you will be in a calorie surplus, you will gain weight, but 95% of that weight will be body fat because we're not providing our body a reason to build muscle. This is what a lot of guys do. They go way too high on the calories, they don't have a proper training approach, and by default, they end up skinny fat, which is not where we want to go. The entire goal of your training program is to get you stronger over time. If you're just going to the gym, randomly hopping on machines, you will end up skinny fat. You have to be pushing the needle when it comes to your training sessions. The way you gauge your progress in terms of muscle growth is, are your numbers in the gym going up? Are you consistently getting stronger in the gym? That is the most important thing. So you need to have a training plan that allows you to every single week add a tiny bit of weight to the bar. So you're applying progressive overload, but you're also pushing your set as close to failure as possible. If you're just leaving 3+ reps in the tank, if the last reps of your set are a walk in the park, you will not be building a lot of muscle. Those last reps need to be difficult. The only question you have to ask yourself in the gym is, am I pushing myself close to failure on my sets? And have I gotten stronger over the last 3 months? That is it. You need to have obviously a plan that you stick to, one that you can commit to long term, whether that's training 2, 3, 4 times per week. I personally train 3. That's what I prefer and can maintain long term, but you need to have a plan. No more going to the gym without a proper plan, without proper reps, sets, because that is not going to provide the results you're truly looking for. Your only goal when it comes to your training is adding 10, 15, 20+ kgs to all of your lifts over time, pushing those sets as close to failure. You are an athlete. You have to perform like an athlete if you want to actually grow and see results. And athletes, what do? They have to perform. It is the exact same thing for you. You have to be performing in the gym. So quick recap at this point. We're not ballooning up the calories. We're looking at our daily calories. We're weighing ourselves every single day. We have a fixed weekly target, which ends up being a monthly target as well when it comes to our weight gain. We can adjust our calories based on if we're going too fast or too slow. We're going there with structure. If you see that you're still very lean, you can increase the calories and you can increase your weekly average weight goal. If you're going too fast, just decrease the calories by 150. And when it comes to your training, you have a training plan, you hit the gym consistently, something that you can maintain long-term, a plan designed to get you strong over time. Otherwise, you'll end up skinny fat, and trust me, you don't want to be there. If you want to see exactly how I help skinny guys exactly like you gain 5 to 10 kgs of muscle and build a body they're truly proud and confident in, there's a free training down below that shows you the system. With that being said, wishing you a great day, and I'll catch you later.